Okay, so now we're going to take a look at the eSneakers settings tab. So here you have your settings for Chrome, Capture, your delays, and your webhooks. So let's take a look at each of these. Here you can configure your Chrome browser settings. Now for raffles that open up a Chrome browser, which is most raffles in eSneakers, you can choose whether you want the browser to close upon each successful entry or not. So if you're running tasks for a raffle like Atmos, upon each entry, it will open up a browser and enter the raffle. Once the entry is successful, if you want the browser to close, then the bot will do so. Now you'll want this ticked almost 100% of the time, because if browsers don't close and you're running 400 tasks, you'd potentially have 400 open Chrome browsers on your PC, which would likely crash it. Disable image means that images don't fully load or load at all when opening different browsers. This is great for saving data or trying to get web pages to load quicker, especially on websites that might be throwing out a lot of errors when lots of people are trying to access them at the same time. Hidden mode means that rather than the browser popping up over your eSneakers UI, it pops up in the background hidden away where you can't see it. This is great for if you know your entries should run smoothly and you don't want them to bother you while you're doing something on your PC. However, it means that if there are some errors, you can't see what the error is for troubleshooting. So you might want to untick it at times, but I know lots of people like to have it ticked most of the time. Share public webhook will send a webhook upon each successful entry into the eSneakers Discord for everybody to see. It won't show who sent it or who entered the raffle, but it's good for letting people know what other raffles you're entering. Some people like to have it hidden, others don't. So you can just tick or untick that at your choice. Now let's move on to capture keys. Capture is what different websites have to verify if you're a human or not when trying to enter a raffle. They do this in an attempt to prevent bots, but we have all these different services that you can pay for in order to solve the captures for you. This will enable you to run hundreds of tasks at once without having to solve hundreds of captures yourself. You can click which capture service you want to be using and then fill out your key, your API key, that will be given to you by the website. So here I've got anti-capture filled out already. So as you can see, because I've got my API key filled out, I can just hit check, and that will just make sure that it's a legitimate API key and I haven't copy and pasted it over wrong or anything. And it will actually tell me how much balance I have left on that API key. So here I have almost $27. If I wanted to use something like Cat Monster, I just click Monster and then fill out my API for Cat Monster and hit save. If you don't hit save, the bot will let you know that you haven't, and you'll have to click save changes before you do. On to delays. Now these are the different delays you'll have between each entry when entering a raffle. So if you're running 10 tasks and your delay is 10 seconds, then it'll enter for one task and wait 10 seconds before moving on to the next task. This could be good for if you have a raffle where you want to spread your entries over a day or a couple of days. But if you want a raffle where you don't want any delays at all or very low delays, then you can make them low. For some raffles, people have them as low as 0. Retry is how many times the bot will try to retry an entry if it doesn't go smoothly. This could be great for a raffle like DSM, where the site is under a lot of stress when people are entering, and the site might throw out errors when you're trying to enter. There might not be anything wrong with your profile details, and the error is on the end of the site, not on your end. If that's the case, and your retry delay is set to 3, then the bot will try 3 more times to get that entry in. If it still doesn't go in after 3 times, it will move on to the next profile to enter into the raffle. So it's very rare that you'd want this set at 0, because the error may be on the site's end and not on your end. But usually you want to keep retry delay low, because if it's an error on your end, the bot will keep trying to retry. So if I had it set to 20 and I was missing data in my profile, the bot will still try 20 times to enter the raffle, even though it's my fault that the entry isn't going in successfully. For your webhooks, these are your webhooks to your own personal Discord server. So you can either have a separate webhook for every time a raffle is entered successfully. So if I had 100 tasks for Bodega, each profile that enters successfully will send a webhook. Your complete webhook means that once all 100 Bodega tasks are complete, it'll send a webhook to say, look, I've finished all 100 Bodega tasks. And that's pretty much the settings tab covered. You can export your settings if you wanted to, I don't know, move your setup to your server or to your local PC. And then you can use the import all button to re-import them back in.